So, Miley Cyrus isn't vegan anymore. Great. A lot of these other ex-vegans, they really only care about nutrition, but it seemed to me like Miley Cyrus really was in it for ethics. And now, well, clearly that's not the case. So for those of you that don't know, Miley Cyrus was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and while she was on the podcast, she revealed that she is no longer vegan.
Was vegan for a very long time, and I've had to introduce fish and omegas into my life because my brain wasn't functioning properly. And
don't tell that to the vegans. They'll come for you.
They're gonna come for me, but that's okay.
Let's stop right there and talk about the fact that every time people stop being vegan, the first thing that they go to is fish, and that is because of speciesism. So if you guys don't know what speciesism is, it's this idea that one species of animal, usually the human species, is better than another. So we put them in this hierarchy, human at the top and then the other species below that. And for whatever reason, we really undervalue fish. It doesn't really make any sense though. I mean, fish are actually very intelligent creatures, and depending on what type of fish we're talking about, fish have been known to be able to count. They have really complex family structures. Not that an animal needs to be intelligent for us to not want to take its life, but if the reason you choose fish is because you think they don't feel pain or you think they're not intelligent enough, it's just simply not true. Fish feel pain. And fish are smart. In fact, the feeling that a fish feels when they're being pulled out of water is very similar to the feeling that a human would feel when they're drowning. It's just the opposite sensation. They're literally suffocating. So just because a fish doesn't yell or scream or cry out in the same way that a human would, that doesn't mean that that fish doesn't feel pain. So anyways, let's have a look at this video podcast with Joe Rogan and see what Miley has to say.
I really, really loved lifting and doing all my weight training, my resistance, and then the veganism. I was kind of trying to, I think I'm really kind of building myself back up to realize what works. So I'm actually right now in a very experimental period. It's actually fun to talk about with you because I know that you kind of have probably some good suggestions on that, but I'm experimenting a lot with like my diet and my body and my routine and my exercise right now, because I mean, kind of like, you know, leaving veganism is really terrifying. Like you said, the public kind of will destroy you for that. And
how long were you vegan?
I was vegan from 2000.
She's talking about experimenting with diet, experimenting with a new lifestyle, experimenting with not being vegan. Miley, it's great that you have the privilege to experiment with your diet, but it would be better to experiment with your diet in maintaining a vegan lifestyle. The animals will be affected by the choices that you make. You can't just experiment with their lives. You can't put their lives at stake because you want to try new things. You can very easily eat a different type of diet. You can eat a high-fat vegan diet. You can eat a low-fat vegan diet. You can eat a high-carb or a low-carb vegan diet. You can eat a vegan diet that's filled with heavily processed foods. You can eat a whole foods vegan diet. All of these things are possible while still not harming animals and leaving them out of the equation.
13 till 2019.
So in 2019, what was the first thing that you ate?
My ex-husband cooked me some fish on the grill. I cried like for a long time.
For the fish?
I cried for the fish, and
those little fucks. They don't even take care of their kids.
Listen, I have some videos on my.
So yeah, she cried for the fish. She is still vegan at heart. She knows why this is important, and yet she's lost that connection. She's lost that deeper meaning behind why she's vegan. And so even though, you know, at this first outer level, she knows that a fish is being harmed, and it saddens her. It clearly doesn't sadden her enough because she's putting herself before the fish when it's not really necessary.
My phone of my fish at home, I have a blowfish that runs to the side of the tank every time I come home, so it really hurts me to eat.
Because it thinks you're going to feed it.
And I do every time.
Yeah, that's it. That's all
know.
it is.
If you know what? I haven't really had...
If you get shot in the head, that fish doesn't give a fuck.
Well, that's what my ex said about the dogs. And I'm like, I can't do this to the dogs. And he's like, watch this. Starts feeding them the fish. They're like, they're happy. You know, they'll eat it. But, so that's what I had. And it was because of a hip pain. I had actually going to... We were flying to, I think, Poland or something on a tour that I...
Okay, yeah. So she decided to eat fish because she had some hip pain. This doesn't really make sense. There's no way that eating a piece of fish is going to suddenly solve your hip pain. It's just not logical. There's nothing in fish that is some like magic pill that's going to take all of your health problems away. And ex-vegans do this all the time. I don't know why they feel like a little bit of fish or a little bit of eggs is going to just like flip a switch and make them into a different person. But no, Miley, no. Now, maybe there are some vitamins and nutrients that can be found in fish that you want to supplement on or you want to increase in your diet. And there is no vitamin, mineral, or nutrient in any animal product that can be found in a plant source. So if there's something in particular in fish, like omega-3s, for example, I have a feeling that's what she's going to end up talking about here because that's like the big... thing when it comes to fish. You can find a plant version. So omega-3s, there are algae-based supplements that give you omega-3s. It's that simple.
I was on and I started sobbing, crying on the plane because I couldn't sit any longer because my hips were hurting so bad.
So this was pre-gluten?
And laying on the floor.
Pre-quitting gluten?
Now I'm back on gluten.
Now
So that was I did a trial period of 18 of like kind of removing things because I think when you try all these different diets, like, okay, now I'm going to try keto, now I'm going to try vegan, now I'm going to try this. You're doing it at...
See, here's the problem. Veganism is not a diet, it's a lifestyle, and I thought that she understood that, but clearly at some point in time she's gotten confused. Like I was saying earlier, you can be vegan and you can eat a vegan keto diet. You can eat a vegan gluten-free diet. You can eat a vegan high-carb diet. Whatever it is that you feel like will be best for your body, you can do it, and you can do it in a vegan way.
Such a kind of, it's really hard to know
Drastic.
What's affecting you.
Right.
So I tried to go slowly, like, okay, it takes a freaking long time, but going through and going, I'm going to eliminate this now,
Right.
and then I'm going to put it back and see how I feel. My body, when I am supplementing, especially with the omegas, like the omegas have really changed my life for me. I think, again, you know, you kind of referred to me as something like a car, and I think that we are kind of like a car, and I was like so dry from having none of these healthy fats in my diet. I did what I could with like as many freaking avocados.
See, there you go, omegas. You can get omegas from a vegan supplement, and the thing is, you have all of this money. Like, you are so wealthy. There's no way that you can't afford or have access to a vegan omega-3 supplement. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you kill a sentient being so that you can get a vitamin that you can get from a plant source? It already existed. There's no reason. It's there. It's like you go to, I'm sure she shops at Whole Foods because, like, you know, who are we kidding? She shops at Whole Foods. So you're in Whole Foods. You go to the wellness aisle. You see the shelf with all of the omega-3 supplements. And in one spot, there's the non-vegan omega-3 supplement. And in the next spot, there's the vegan omega-3 supplement. And it's just a matter of, instead of putting your hand over here, you put your hand over here, you grab the vegan one, and you take it home with you. I know for a fact that you can buy vegan omega-3 supplements. You can. Just like, why?
A day as I
It's
could have
hard.
Things, but it's hard to get the fat.
Yeah. It's not as bioavailable.
And
when
your
like
brain
flax
is,
and
you
stuff
know,
like
your
that.
brain really needs those fats, and you know, it was really, really hard for me.
Fish oil is the way to go.
Dude, it's not hard to get fat. If you want to add more fats to your diet, you can literally start eating oil. It's really not that difficult. And if you want to focus specifically on omega-3s and omega-6s, you can take a supplement. That's it. Just a vegan supplement.
Go.
Yep.
I know people don't like it, and they don't like the idea behind it. But god damn it, it's so good for your brain.
Yeah, I love. I do kind of like the fish egg Vital Choice also because
that stuff's great.
I love Vital
Fish
Choice.
eggs the way to.
you can get the vegan one instead. Or you can go on Amazon and find a vegan supplement. I'm sure she has so much money, she could probably have a company make a personalized vegan omega-3 supplement just for her. Is absolutely unnecessary. This is the definition of carnism.
To go.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I mean, that's
it's really
the best
helped
way
my
to get your
hips so
omegas.
much. Now
well, it's an inflammation issue then.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think in general, my brain, like you're saying, is kind of on fire. It is.
Think about the animals when you're making these decisions, because the world does not revolve around you. If there are things that you can do that won't harm animals and will still get you to the same end goal of living a healthy, happy, pain-free life, why wouldn't you do it? Why would you put yourself before the animal? Because the animal isn't just going through pain. Sure, their death will be painful, but they're dying. You're not dying. You have a little bit of pain that you could solve with a different type of supplement, and you're choosing to kill the animal anyway. What if that animal was one of your pet fish? What if they were one of your companion animals? How would you feel then? Know that you're not just buying a supplement off the shelf. You are killing an animal. You're killing a sentient being with the capacity to feel and suffer, with families, who wants to live. So yeah, that is that. Wow, this is so frustrating, because Miley Cyrus was such a strong voice for the animals. I really thought that she knew what she was talking about, that she was like, on Joaquin Phoenix level. She really cared about the animals. And it's so sad to me that she's putting her health, which arguably isn't even that bad. She can solve those health problems with a vegan solution, but chooses not to. She's putting that really convenience before the animals. See, a lot of people like this, they don't actually do any research. They don't really know what they're talking about. They just like have this feeling, like I feel like if I eat fish I'll feel better. And then what do you know, placebo effect, they do start feeling better, because it's not really about the food. It's about, it's about the way that they're thinking. Veganism is perfectly adequately healthy. There's no reason why it should give you any sort of deficiency unless you're not supplementing for B12. And it's frustrating when people like Miley Cyrus feel like they have to struggle to be a vegan when they have all of these resources at their disposal. So then what will regular people who aren't celebrities, who aren't millionaires, who don't have all of this money, how will they feel about veganism? How many people will Miley discourage from going vegan because she can't think about the animals and what they're going through, and she's putting herself first selfishly when it's unnecessary? The use that she's getting from these animals is completely unnecessary. If for whatever reason she could not survive without eating animal products, then there's a bigger discussion to be had there. But in this scenario, there's nothing wrong with Miley Cyrus that can't be solved in a vegan way. So I will leave it at that. This kind of stuff is so frustrating. It just gets us all worked up when you spend so much time advocating for the animals and then people just don't even care. Let me put this in perspective for you. What if Miley Cyrus said, my hip really hurts and my brain is foggy, so I decided that I was going to eat my dog. What? Well, she would be in jail for animal abuse. We would be up in arms protesting against Miley Cyrus for eating a poor, innocent puppy. But when it comes to fish, when it comes to farm animals, when it comes to all these other animals that we eat, we don't think about them the same way. And that is because, once again, speciesism. So I will leave it at that. If you guys found value in this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and I will see you in the next one.